It was a hot afternoon, so hot it steamed. The heat waves wiggled, coming off the stone steps. The sun was still, the day was still. No wind, no thought of a breeze, just southern hot in the scorch of summer. There was music in the air, and it flavored the day with strained notes wafting out and over the old clapboard building. Music rolled down peeling painted sides of the house and spread in the small town dust, actually becoming part of the land itself. Inside was an old man who delicately cradled that guitar which he balanced on his knee. He plucked it soft. He strummed it hard. And the sweat of his forearm and fingers actually stained the mellowed guitar wood so much. Through his sweat, he became part of the wood grain itself. There was pain in his music. You see, he played the blues, primitive, scratchy at times, rough at other times, smooth and haunting when he wanted it that way, but always, always, always blue. This was music from the soil, planted and cultivated and harvested during a lifetime. The old man leaned back with his eyes closed, and I wondered what images were behind his eyelids that made his fingertips find such feeling. His fingers were gnarled, but they deftly moved across the wood and the strings. The roadmap of his melody was not written, but was immediately summonable from his experiences. Notes flattened and sharpened as he went along. Now the old man's face was well-lined and told of hardship and poverty, but with a quaint smile at the corner of his mouth, I knew this music and this guitar were his richness. Now the old man and I never spoke, nor did I ever learn his name. I simply slipped from his doorway, which curiously had drawn me to its threshold because of the melodious sounds. Still, down the road, the old man's music echoed in my ears like a refrain heard in the first act and still carried in one's mind after the show was in. Years later, on a hot summer day, a million miles and experiences from the day of the old man and his music, the electric sounds of today poured out of a big city bar. It poured out of the big city bar like soda pop sloshed over the sides of a drinking glass. Now this music flowed freely across another threshold. These were tunes played by young men who wiggled and danced their sounds into the heartstrings of another world. But underneath their bass notes was a deeper foundation. I could still hear the old man from years back hauntingly pluck it soft and hauntingly strum it hard, setting the stage for what was to come. On corner bar stools or city doorsteps, wide-legged urban dwellers sit astride the sounds which pulsate and rap. They are sounds which hang like incinerator smoke on a windless day, surrounding the city like a serape. Sounds of a culture and of a people. I suppose the old man is gone now, long gone. Maybe even playing a heavenly lute, But his music, which he clung to and cradled in that solitary room, his music had children, and they had children, and they had children, in whom the genes of the old man and his ancestors still flourish. You see, Grandfather Blues still lives, dressed up in new suits, but moving along that creative path, leaving footprints and fingerprints. Ladies and gentlemen, Grandfather Blues, Grandfather Blues, Grandfather Blues. Thank you. You kids keep on writing that poetry.